mechanical engineer specialized in material science engineering and supply chain management from a university from California. I worked on a project that is funded from National Science Foundation. That's about nickel characterization for the reaction synthesis. So, on a brief note, this is what my profile is.
So, I think you graduated in 2018. So, did you work after that or no?
No, I haven't worked after that. So I was looking for opportunities potentially in and around. Like my work areas, like I started working on a different field, but I want to bounce back to the material science engineering because I am a lot interested in material science engineering.
You are interested or you are not?
I'm interested in material science engineering as of now.
But what you're saying that you worked on totally something different, you want to come back. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bounce back.
Okay, bounce. Okay, but let me ask you, why did you choose this time right now where you already know the situation is that bad?
See, depending upon my understanding, situation as of now might look bad, but potential opportunities, if we think for a longer term, I think markets are going to open in a blast just because they might, these economic policies to improve the economy, obviously they want to increase the market scale as such. So when one tries to increase the market scale, they try to, maybe not a potentially high pay jobs, but there could be jobs that will be generated so as to improve the economic background. So I thought like this is a right time. See, to any time to beat out the economy, say for this time of, in the 2008 case, if we take the recession, whatever happened, the immediate thing they focused is on to getting more employees to beat that problem, like ingrown employees, not an external sourcing, because obviously external sourcing is going to be, you'll be purchasing from another country. As of now, when economy anytime dwindles down, the purchasing power of the country comes to down. So they want somebody from the ingrown area.
I mean, the reason I'm asking you is because do you have a job right now or you don't have a job right now, or what is your status right now? That is the reason I'm asking.
My status is I have a job right now. I'm working on OPT. I mean, I'm currently working on my business side of my subjects, but I'm not interested in the business side anymore. I want to get into the area where I focused a lot instead of me sticking to the business side alone. So me directly jumping into the business from masters, I'm okay with it. It's good. It's good to do work on supply chain and areas like that. But my core idea is to two steps behind. Start with the material science job and let's see how it goes and starts from there.
Okay. And other question I want, and just I'm asking so that I can get a good idea. Another question I have is, so talking to you seems like you are less interested into the business side, but you want to get back into R&D, if I have to say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and that too in the material science, the area which you worked on. I mean, I can see your CV. You had done some good work. Other question I have for you is, are you in a mode of rush, or you can take some time to find a job?
I'm currently in a mode of, I can't say I'm in a mode of rush completely, but at the same time, yeah, I'm eager to start it back. Because my core purpose of coming to United States is, or choosing a program like that, which is of a dual combination, is because to start a person as an engineer, and from there to move into a place where the science and the business bridges in between.
Okay, got it. And other question I have is, if that was the case, why didn't you look for an option that you can say, if R&D interests me so much, why didn't I join PhD?
So the case is with PhD as of now is it's again gonna be a different level. And see, my core area of doing this masters, this particular program of masters, where it is a blend between engineering and masters. And if I go into the R&D position, if I go into the PhD, again my domain changes. My outlook from there to grow changes. So if I don't want to completely get into the PhD is for that reason. Let's start with baby steps, then to get into PhD is what I thought.
Okay, so now the reason I mean, you have seen my profile, right? And I'm asking those questions. If I was you, what would I have done? That's the reason I'm asking. Okay, so give me a very clear
Yeah.
answer so that I can guide you properly. So again, I'm struggling with this thought is you said you are interested in R&D, you are not too much interested into the business side of it right now, but you want to get back what you want to do or what you like to do. But the only thing I'm struggling is because you have to understand one thing and you have to take it my advice because I have gone through a lot, you know that already, right? And the reason I'm saying it, if you say I'm interested in R&D and just talking to you for a few minutes, the type of job you are looking at currently, I don't know what you do right now exactly, but what type of job you are looking at, it would be hard to comprehend that you can find a job with just a master's degree. You understand my point? It would be tough because let me tell you very frankly, there is a difference between doing a bachelor's and a PhD, but I don't see a difference of anybody who do masters and a bachelor's to me.
I get it.
You understand?
I get it. I
It's
get
just
it. Completely I get it.
yeah, it's a 2 years program. I mean, let me tell you, if you have done your bachelor's from a good university and have done a decent amount of research, I would consider that a master's.
Yeah.
So my
That's all
point,
masters.
so my point here is, if you are really interested in research side of it, if you really want to get into it, my advice would be is that then you have to really seriously think about getting into a PhD program. That's number one. Number two is then you also have to think about um, the work you are doing right now versus, as you said, right, am I interested in doing that work? Am I do I like that work? I think you have already worked for almost 2 years now, if I have to say, right? Almost,
Yes.
plus minus. And then you have this OPT thing that is hanging on your head. So what are the options now? So you see, here's the thing, what I'm saying, there are many people who I have talked to, and again, I always think about my example and my friends who are even vice president at some companies and so forth, what they have done in that terms, and I can give you that example. Many people have done PhD because they were already determined, like I would do PhD. That's number one. Number two, many people decide to do PhD because once they came in, just like you, they said, I really enjoyed this. But before that, I didn't have that exposure. They said, why don't I try? And actually, there was a post I had last year about master's student, and I told them very clearly about that. There was a webinar I did where I said, if you have a master's, I think if you look at the return of investment, I think doing a PhD is much better option. And trust me,
Yeah.
I can say that. But again, I'm not pushing you that you should do it. Again, you should do PhD because you want to do it, not because you have to do it.
No. Let me make my points one by one. Let me be frank with you, Amit.
Uh-huh.
See, because I didn't have a proper exposure towards the business side earlier when I started the masters, though my aim is big.
Uh-huh.
So, because of the business courses, there is a fall in my GPA. So, for getting into a good universities with PhD program, it's gonna, these points concerns, right? When they validate your profile, the points concerns are coming forward to me. Though I have an NSF project, but still the GPA concern is being a big tick mark because I didn't have an industrial exposure yet. Because when I tried with my professor or somebody, anyone, to get into the I think you have gone through my university profile as well. It's a good university.
Mhm.
It's a decent one at least. So that GPA concern is withholding. And if I want to join the PhD, and affordability is another thing because of the GPA concern. I won't get a research fund or stipend immediately,
Okay, but
or
again,
I can't afford it.
yeah, I understand. But my question here is, let's say if you have an option of doing a PhD, would you do it or you would you not do it in a good university?
I would do it.
Okay, you would do it. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. Few things. Okay, so and how old are you? Just to get an idea.
27.
27. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have a good option. See, the Karthik, I would be very frank with you. If I was you, if I was you, and I'm just that's why I'm trying to inquire through questions, your motivation and all that. If I was you, and if I find a good university, that's why I ask you, and I want a very clear answer on that, so I can give you some good advice and probably can help you also. Let me be
Yeah.
very frank with you, okay? If based on your profile and I saw the way you have written things, I think they are very well written, and they gave me a good idea about your desire to do things. I what I'm looking at is motivation, and I think you have a motivation. I really don't care about GP and all that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a separate story, and that can be sorted out. I was I mean, if I had to look on my GPA, I won't be, in some cases, I won't be very proud of it also. But that doesn't mean that it stopped me in doing things. Okay. But what I'm trying to understand that are you motivated enough that you want to do PhD? Because looking at your profile, looking at what you have done, looking at what you said before, I am interested in doing research and I want to do some job which is had to do research, force me to advise you that I think you could be a good PhD student. I won't say that to anyone else.
Okay.
Okay. I think so. I may be wrong, but that's what impression I get from you. And that was my reason. So my question to you is very simple. If let's say tomorrow you have an offer from a good university from US in a good project with full funding and everything, would you join it or not? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm gonna join. But there also one concern might hold me is because of getting the student loan debt off. But I will somehow manage with it.
What will the concern?
Master student loan.
Yeah, yeah, but that's I'm pretty sure that one day you will have a proper job and everything, and let me tell you very frankly that if you go into a PhD program, I don't know whether you have a loan from here or loan from your home country, but I can tell you for
Loan,
sure. Go ahead.
loan from here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if you go back to school, I think you can get waived on when you have to pay. You may have to add interest, but that can be sought out. So what I'm saying, you can still keep paying the interest because from your stipend you get these days. If you get into a good school for a PhD program, your stipend is pretty good too.
Yeah, pretty good to
Yeah.
eventually survive.
Right. So I don't think that should be the case. And I know many people who have done that and so forth. But, as I said, you have to understand because the reason I'm telling you, I have your questions in front of me and they are about I want to do a job in a company and I want to know, how to target and how improve my skills. I think you have pretty good skills. I don't know what to tell you about skills other than just to tell you some random thing like do a certification and all that. But I don't think that's going to help you in a long term. Let me put it a very simple way. If you're looking for a short term answer, like I'm and the short term answer could be out of desperation because you have a loan, you don't have a job, your OPT is expiring, you are seeing trouble in your job. That could be a short term answer, and I can completely understand that. I was a student to one point of time, just 10 years back, so I understand that. But the second question would be is that's not going to solve about your big ambitions, what you would like to do, what you want to do. Okay, so
Exactly.
so that's what I'm trying to understand from when I ask questions, that what do you really want to do? Forget about the short term answer, but what do you really want to do? Because trust me, that I want to give an answer to that particular solution or help you in that way, because if I do that, I think your life would be much, much better. A short term answer could be